So mint is in vogue, and we're going to talk about 3 mint fragrances that I've been loving this year so far. Coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. And that's right, there were 3 minty fragrance launches this year that I'm really loving. And you know me being so skeptical about mint in fragrances because they tend to go toothpastey or somewhat medicinal. So I'm always cautious with them. And there are some that are out there that are very popular that I don't really like because they do come off mint, medicinal minty or toothpastey. But these 3 that I'm talking about are really, really great, and I'm enjoying wearing them, and they are not the kind that goes minty, toothpastey, minty kind of thing. So the first one I'm talking about is Kryptomint, and this was launched earlier, the very first one that I'm talking about here that I've picked up. It's a 2017 launch, as mentioned. Retails for $90 for 100. Nose is Jacques Cochlear, and it's eau de toilette concentration. And notes for this one, we've got at the top mint. In the heart, we've got geranium, and the base, we've got patchouli and tonka bean. So basically taking the A Men DNA and adding mint and, you know, kind of fixing it up and releasing a release kind of similar to Ultra Zest, but this time it's not blood orange or oranges, it's mint. And it actually really works, and I love it, especially being the Mugler fan that I am. So it's minty at the top, it starts off minty, and then it kind of dries down to be more of that patchouli kind of Mugler DNA. So you still get the hints of the mint when it's drying down, but the more dominant notes are, of course, the patchouli, slightly woody, tonka bean, and that kind of stuff. So it's quite nice. If you're at all a fan of Mugler House, and you like that patchouli kind of DNA, I recommend this one. And if you've tried Ultra Zest, people say it's kind of similarities to Ultra Zest. Well, actually, it kind of does, but if you remove the orange and replace it with mint, then yeah, it will remind you of Ultra Zest, but they're not identical. They might be close, so there's that, but there's a reason why this is called Kryptomint, and there's a reason why that one's called Ultra Zest, because that one's utilizing the orange and blood orange notes, and this one's utilizing the mint note. So, I mean, yeah, they do have similarities, but they're not the same. So you do get minty from here and orangey in the other one. The other thing I want to also say is probably what they did with this is probably they took the recipe, the notes for Ultra Zest, removed all the orange notes and added the mint in there to replace it. So it was probably a very easy thing for them to do, and perhaps that's why it's reminding people of Ultra Zest. But to me, it does, but then again, it doesn't have the orange, and it has mint, it's green, it's minty, so it's herbal. So it's definitely different, even though it's got similarities to Ultra Zest. So they're trying to appeal to everyone. Some people like the orange and some people like the mint, and some people like both. I like both. I like this one a lot. In fact, I love it, but I love Ultra Zest more because I like the Ultra Zest oranginess a lot more because I'm usually a big fan of citruses to begin with, but this is not a bad release, and I do love it. It's just sometimes I'm in the mood for the mint, and sometimes I'm in the mood for the orange. So that's pretty much the difference between the two, and this one's definitely worth checking out. And if you haven't checked it out yet, go sample it. Get yourself a sample or a decant or something, or get yourself a bottle because it's under $100. 90 bucks is a pretty good deal for a designer release. And performance on this one, 5 to 6 hours tops. It's an eau de toilette, so just be prepared to replenish after a while. That's how eau de toilettes usually work. So check out the Kryptomint. I recommend it, and I think you will like it. So the next mint dominant fragrance that I obtained that was launched, I guess around the same time, maybe a little after, is called You or Someone Like You. This one right here by Etat Libre d'Orange. So this one is a 2017 launch. It's eau de parfum concentration. The perfumer is Caroline Caroline Sabat, but the fragrance was in collaboration with Chandler Burr, who has a book called You or Someone Like You. And Chandler Burr is a perfume writer, perfume critic, or reviewer. He's released multiple books, and this book, You or Someone Like You, was based on a woman who lived in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is an inspiration. So the notes for You or Someone Like You are unpublished, so they didn't publish the notes. But what I got from here was lots of mint. This is actually probably the truest mint I know of in the three fragrances I'm talking about, because my culture growing up, mint was like one of the biggest herbs that we consumed. Like, it was used in a lot of cooking. So my parents grew it, and my mom still grows it. In fact, this weekend I was actually picking mint, and knowing that mint leaf with smell and all that good stuff, I know for a fact this one is the truest mint smell, hands down. To me, it smells like a combination of the fresh mint leaves and also the dried mint leaves. So it's very, I guess, savory, the smell. It smells like food to me, but not like your typical food, but when you use mint in cooking, it kind of smells like that. But it's very, very herbal, very refreshing and aromatic. So it's got the mint, it's got wild grasses and garden rose. Those are the notes that people say they get from this fragrance, but again, the notes are unpublished. So it's such a refreshing fragrance. It's like hot weather, this is your friend right here. It's so good. And it's like I said, it's like you're spraying mint water on you with some light grasses and rosy notes. But it's just so refreshing, so thirst-quenchingly refreshing. It's that good of a release. And I've heard some complaints of people saying this is not a Etat Libre d'Orange fragrance. This is not what they're known for doing. They're kind of like step backwards and things like that. But you know what? I don't agree with that, because I mean, a fragrance house has to do all kinds of fragrances. They can be daring most of the time, but they also have to be somewhat conventional when it comes to releasing a fragrance, because this is the kind of fragrance that they will put out, and somebody that smells it that's never even heard of Etat Libre Orange will love it and will be like, wow, this is so good. Now I want to explore what else this house has. So it opens up doors for them. So I mean, yes, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it doesn't have to be. But I absolutely love it. I think it's just a really good minty, fresh fragrance. So if you don't know it, do check it out, because if you live in weather zones or areas that the weather gets really hot and humid, this is your remedy to cure the summertime hot blues, I guess. It's just perfect that way. I think it's perfect. And knowing that Los Angeles gets really hot and somewhat humid, this was actually a perfect release to be inspired by a woman in LA. And when it's inspired by a woman in LA, I don't think this is feminine at all. It's just the subject matter in that book. The main character in that book is a woman, but this is so unisex. It's like both sexes can wear it, and it's just very refreshing. So check out You or Someone Like You. This one I really recommend. And the third fragrance I want to talk to you about is from the indie niche house of Imaginary Authors. So the fragrance that I'm talking about is Saint Julep, and this one, as a 50 ml like this, retails for $95. It also comes in a 14 ml travel size for $38, and this is Eau de Parfum concentration. So for the notes with this one, we've got sweet mint, tangerine, southern magnolia, bourbon, grisalva, which is actually like an ambergris, animalic ambergris, leathery aroma chemical. And then also we've got sugar cube and crushed ice. So this is kind of like mint julep inspired fragrance. So it's boozy, but it's very minty. And with this one, you definitely get that icy kind of accord, sugar cubes, it's got the sweetness, and of course it's boozy. It's like, when you spray it on, it comes off very much like you know how the mint is crushed and infused with the bourbon? It exactly is what I smell like. There's that sweetness there. Of course, a light hint of Southern magnolia, I guess a magnolia type note in there. And of course, it's got a little bit of citrusiness, but it's like not a sharp and tart citrus. It's more of a well-rounded, kind of a slightly sweeter citrus of tangerine. But boy, it's like a really, really unique mix of boozy, minty cocktail that you're gonna wear. Just really, really lovely. And what a wonderful release it is from Imaginary Authors. This has become in my top 5 of Imaginary Authors, and I think it's like number 3 or 4 currently, because I really love the combination of the notes. Just it sprays on very earthy, herbal, minty, and then all of a sudden you start picking up the other notes I was mentioning, the booziness, of course, the ice and the sugar cubes, and you know, the magnolia and the tangerine. It's just a very, very lovely scent. And this one actually also is perfect for it's definitely a wearable in the summertime. Could be a slight bit heavier, but I think it's perfect for spring and fall. I think it's going to be really, really great for fall. I mean, it's going to be lovely. But also, like in the winter time, you might want something a little pick-me-up, and this is definitely that pick-me-up. Rather than having the real bourbon, you have, you know, like a bourbon note or a chord in here. It's so lovely. There's also a little bit of a woody aspect in there as well. I'm assuming that's coming from the ambergris, but I'm not really sure. It has this like earthy kind of almost barrel aged like bourbon kind of woodiness. It's interesting that I'm getting that, but it's definitely there. So very, very unique. So out of the 3 of these fragrances, again, the most true fresh cut mint is You or Someone Like You. I mean, that's pretty much what I get with this one. But if I want a unique take on it, definitely the sweet Saint Julep from Imaginary Authors, because it's boozy, it smells like a cocktail. It's just wonderful that way. And if I want a little bit of like that Mugler DNA with mint on the top, then it's definitely Kryptomint. So all 3 of these are pretty good priced. Both of these are under $100. This one is $148, I believe, 145 something in that, 149. But there are sizes that are smaller that will be much less expensive. So it comes in currently in 4 different sizes. So the 100 ml is $149. 7.5 ml is $25. That's really, really inexpensive. 30 ml is $52. And then you've got the 50 ml for $90. So you can obtain all 3 of these for under $100, with Kryptomint being the best bang for your buck for under $100. It's $90. And then of course the other 2 are pretty equal, but you get more fragrance with this one. You get 100 ml for $150. So all 3 great releases from 3 different houses, 1 designer, 1 niche, and 1 indie niche. Do check them out if you don't know these. I'll have links in the info box for you to check out, buy the fragrances or buy samples or decants. You can do that. Also, please list below what you think about these 3 releases. Do you like mint and fragrance in general, or do you not? Also, what are your favorite mint fragrances currently? Have you sampled these 3? As I said, I do recommend it, so go check them out. And if you don't know them and you want to, sample them, definitely click the links below. You can be on your way to pick up some samples or decants. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.